Welcome back. What if I told you there's a machine that looks like it came straight out of a military experiment? But you can actually drive it across deserts, mountains, and places where roads don't even exist? A vehicle so extreme, so overbuilt, that calling it a truck almost feels like an understatement. And yet, somehow, it carries the DNA of something surprisingly familiar. But the real story behind this beast is even more unbelievable. This is the 2026 Toyota HikeCruze 6x6, and it might just be the most insane off-grid vehicle ever created. At first glance, it doesn't even look real. 6 massive wheels planted firmly on the ground, a stretched-out body that feels both aggressive and purposeful, and a stance so wide it dominates everything around it. It's not just big, it's intimidating. But what makes it truly fascinating isn't just how it looks. It's why it exists in the first place. Because this isn't just another concept vehicle built for attention. This machine was designed with a mission to go where no traditional vehicle can survive. And that's where things start to get interesting. But before we get into what it can do, you need to understand how it was built. Because the engineering behind this 6x6 system is where things take a serious turn. Unlike regular four-wheel drive vehicles, the HikeCruze uses a triaxle drivetrain. That means power isn't just split between front and rear. It's distributed across 3 separate axles. Each wheel is designed to maintain traction independently, constantly adjusting based on terrain conditions. Sand, snow, mud, rock, it doesn't matter. This system doesn't just adapt, it predicts. And that's impressive. But that's not even the most shocking part. The suspension system on this machine is something you'd expect to find on military-grade transports. Long-travel adaptive suspension allows each wheel to move almost independently, climbing over obstacles that would stop most vehicles instantly. You're not just driving over terrain, you're floating across it. And here's where things get even more insane. The chassis itself is reinforced with a hybrid composite structure. Lightweight yet incredibly strong. This allows the HikeCruze to carry extreme loads without compromising mobility. It's built to handle expedition gear, survival equipment, and even extended off-grid living setups. Which brings us to a question most people don't think about. Why would anyone need something like this? At first, it might seem like overkill. But the real reason this machine exists is something very few people know. It was designed with extreme exploration in mind. Remote environments where help is hours or even days away. Places where reliability isn't just important, it's everything. And that changes everything about how you see this vehicle, because suddenly, it's not just a truck anymore. It's a lifeline. But wait, because what's under the hood might surprise you even more. Instead of relying purely on traditional power, the HikeCruze introduces a hybrid powertrain system designed specifically for off-grid endurance. A high-torque engine works alongside electric motors, delivering instant power when needed while conserving energy during long journeys. This means something incredible. Not only can it climb extreme terrain with ease, but it can also operate silently in electric mode. Imagine moving through remote wilderness without a sound. No engine noise, just the crunch of tires on earth. And yes, there's more. The fuel efficiency, if you can even call it that, is optimized for long-distance survival. Extended-range fuel tanks combined with energy regeneration systems allow this vehicle to travel far beyond what most off-road machines are capable of. But the real magic happens when you step inside. Because this isn't some stripped-down, rugged-only vehicle. The interior is designed to be both functional and surprisingly comfortable. Digital displays provide real-time data on terrain, traction, and vehicle health. Every system is monitored, every movement calculated. It feels less like driving a truck and more like controlling a machine built for exploration. And here's where things take another unexpected turn. There's a modular system built into the rear section. This allows users to customize the vehicle for different missions. Expedition setup? Done. Mobile workshop? No problem. Emergency response unit? Absolutely. It's not just one vehicle. It's multiple machines in one. But what makes this even more fascinating is how it compares to traditional off-road vehicles. Most off-road trucks are designed to handle difficult terrain, but they still rely on roads, trails, or at least some form of path. The HikeCruze doesn't. Creates its own path. That's a completely different level of capability. And yet, despite all this complexity, it still carries the reliability that Toyota is known for. But here's a detail that almost no one talks about. The development of this vehicle wasn't just about performance. It was also about survival. Engineers studied extreme environments, deserts, frozen landscapes, dense forests, to understand what fails and what doesn't. Every weak point was eliminated. And that's why this machine feels almost unstoppable. But even with all of that, there's one feature that stands above everything else: the intelligent terrain mapping system. This system uses advanced sensors to scan the environment in real time. It analyzes obstacles, predicts traction levels, and adjusts power distribution instantly. It's like having a co-pilot that understands the terrain better than any human driver ever could. And what happens next is something you wouldn't expect. Even inexperienced drivers can handle extreme conditions with confidence. The vehicle does most of the thinking for you. It's not just smart, it's almost intuitive. But let's take a step back for a moment, because there's something deeper going on here. This vehicle represents a shift in how we think about mobility. It's not about getting from point A to point B anymore. It's about going anywhere without limits. And that idea is powerful. But just when you think you've seen everything this machine can do, there's one more twist. The HikeCruze is built with future adaptability in mind. That means it's ready for upgrades. New technology, improved systems, even alternative energy solutions. It's not just built for today. It's built for what comes next. And that raises a fascinating question. Is this the future of off-road vehicles? Because if it is, then what we're looking at isn't just a new model. It's the beginning of something much bigger. Imagine rescue teams reaching disaster zones faster than ever before. Scientists exploring untouched regions without limitations. Adventurers pushing boundaries that once seemed impossible. That's the real impact of this machine. But let's talk about the most insane part. The moment everything comes together. Picture this: you're deep in the wilderness. No roads, no signals, just endless terrain stretching in every direction. A place where most vehicles would fail within minutes. And yet, the HikeCruze keeps moving, climbing over rocks, cutting through sand, powering through mud, adapting, adjusting, surviving. It doesn't hesitate. It doesn't struggle. It just moves forward. And in that moment, you realize something. This isn't just a vehicle. It's freedom. Freedom to explore. Freedom to go beyond limits. Freedom to reach places that most people will never even see. And that's what makes it so special, because in a world where everything feels connected, mapped, and accessible, this machine brings back the idea of true exploration, the unknown. And maybe that's why it feels so exciting, because deep down, there's still something inside us that wants to go further, to see more, to experience what's out there beyond the edges. And the 2026 Toyota HikeCruze 6x6 might just be the machine that makes that possible. But here's the thing. This is only the beginning, because if this is what vehicles can do today, imagine what comes next. And that might be even more unbelievable.